Hey, folks on the internet. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And welcome to the first ever installment of Spooky Saturdays, which is a just chatting installment where me and my friends share scary stories on Twitch. And whether you're here with us live or enjoying the VOD at your leisure at a later time, I'm really happy you're here. Um, Today, I'm hanging out with Blastub.
Hey
If you
there.
don't know, he's a really cool creator. Blastub, what kind of stuff do you usually do? Twitch streams, what other stuff?
Oh, I typically do Twitch streams. I make tons of different types of content. I'm actually working in TV broadcasting. I do games on my Twitch channel. I'll just do different types of things on my Twitch channel, whether it be IRL streams, whether it be games, whether it be just pure chaos, editing. I do all kinds of stuff. If you want to come check out my channel, it's Blastub. Yeah,
Absolutely. We love to
that's my
see
intro.
it. I love it. Beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thanks for having me.
no, I'm super excited that you're here. And also, if you guys aren't already following Blasthub, you should totally do that. Twitch.tv/Blasthub, is that correct?
That's the one.
Cool, cool, cool. I will throw that in the chat. Do. So
Cool.
yeah. Oh,
I understand that we're going to be doing some pretty. They are playing Sid Meier's Civilization 5. I'm not playing that. Okay. That is one of the games we do play on the channel. Yeah. So I understand we're reading some horror stories. Am I correct in that?
yeah, we're doing a little bit of spooky times. Originally I wanted to do a podcast where I told spooky stories and talked about like metaphysical and like all sorts of crazy like lore, like local lore around the world. But then I realized I didn't know anything about podcasts, so for some reason I was like, Twitch can't be hard.
I mean, I would argue it's a little bit harder because there's the video aspect of it as well.
That's
But
fair and
that's a
reasonable.
personal
That's
opinion there,
fair and
yeah.
reasonable. That's correct. Yeah, I've found that out. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Heck yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
so we're just gonna start. I'm gonna start reading a story that I found on the internet. And we're just gonna have a chat about it during the story. If you have a reaction, absolutely feel free to interject because I will absolutely do the same during my story and your story because of who I am as a person.
Sweetie.
And let me just. I spelled your name wrong because I'm cool like that. Let me.
You spelled it blast up there too.
I did. I did. I'm cool.
I love it.
I I had listen. I haven't had coffee yet, so
Oh,
chat. Please ignore the fact that I don't know how to spell. Because I'm an awful friend.
you know what? You know what? It's better than bathtub. It's better than bathtub. So many people have like come onto my streams and they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's bathtub, bathtub." Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, ugh, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. It's more it's funnier this way.
This is my friend Blasty the Tub. Uh,
Hello.
uh,
Oh, we've got a hashtag
Hashtag
bathtub in the chat
bathtub.
now.
It's starting. Lovely.
Yeah. So let's head into the first story then.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
excited to hear. Now, a little bit of a precursor here. I'm not a horror story person. Like, I ended up tasking my little brother Dan to get me my horror stories. So I have read these briefly. If they are, they should be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Horror is just not my my cup of tea typically, so I just let him do it.
Gonna be real with you. My loving significant other, zombified potato, found me this story on the internet. I have not read this story. So I
Cool.
fully expect either this is gonna be some thing that's gonna make me super cringe because he's
Mhm.
being fun, or there's a huge risk that this actually could be the script of the 2000 animated film A Bee Movie.
Oh gosh,
There's a
not
good
the bee
chance. Like,
movie. Not the bees. Not the bees.
the one guy with the chin, like, phew, nightmares. That's nightmare
Oh my
fuel.
gosh.
But yeah, let's jump into this. Uh, this one's called "There's Something Wrong with the Office Elevator." Oh my god, he did this.
Oh.
When I got to the office this morning and pressed the button for the elevator, the door slid open almost immediately, and it was dark inside. Just regular darkness, nothing supernatural, you see, no eerie, impossible, total darkness. I could still see the outline of the railing around the perimeter of the elevator, the white tile, the great look like flooring for the light above, which was off. I've never actually been so aware of my surroundings in an elevator personally, but you do you, man. I paused, adjusting my purse on my shoulder, trying to decide if it was worth getting on anyway. The bulb probably just went out, but this elevator was rickety, and I had a frightening experience 3 months ago when the doors got stuck half open. What? Hold on.
I
Why
repeat
would
that?
I'm so apparently a few months before this situation, they got the door tried to shut on them and got stuck, and they continued to use the elevator. Personally, I would be stairs all the way at that point.
I mean, I would have introduced a technician into
Yeah,
that, but yeah, no, that's kind of sus.
yeah,
Don't know
that's
why you would go
absolutely
into that
sus.
elevator.
Like, the second an elevator makes any sorts of, like, weird, I'm out. Like, no, I could do the
Mhm.
stairs. It's like I can die, like, heavy breathing, like, perspirating up 3 flights of stairs before I deal with the rickety elevator. I'm not getting stuck. Not today.
Fair,
Not ever.
fair.
Okay, let's get back into this. There were technically 2 elevators in this building, but the other one had been fully broken down for 6 months. Okay, so there's just, like, no technicians in this building.
Nope,
Cool. Cool, 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 cool.
no repair guy.
The doors started to close, and I stuck my hand out to keep them open, instinctively gritting my teeth because I didn't trust them not to crush me. The left door grazed my palm, and then they both bounced back. I looked around. No one else was in the lobby, which was not surprising. The place had been pretty dead this past year, thanks to the virus. Most people work remotely now. It was just me and one other guy on the ninth floor.
Oh, so this is like in our time right now. Like this
Yes.
is this is in COVID times then.
Yes, it is in the COVID times,
I see.
which okay, so it's pretty recent. Okay.
Hmm.
The two of us were mostly an excuse for our company to keep renting the floor from the building management. Everybody was still hoping for things to go back to normal soon. I stepped on the elevator and pressed the button for the ninth floor. Interesting, the button light lit up, so I was definitely just that bulb above that died. Doors slid shut. I watched them, wary of them getting stuck half open again. Girl, if there are this many concerns you got, why are you on this elevator? Am I crazy? I mean, if you were on an elevator and you like were this trepidatious about being on this elevator, why would you continue? I get it's the
To
ninth
use
floor,
it,
but like,
yeah.
wear some joggers. Like, make it like part of your like, hey, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm gonna work out.
Your morning workout, yeah.
Yeah, cardio is key, girlfriend. Like, what are you doing? I pulled my phone out of my pocket and held it in my hand anyway, just in case I needed to call for help. God. I wanted to shift around anxiously, but I typically tried not to move around much in the elevator. I imagined jiggling it too much and causing something to snap, sending the metal box carrying me hurtling towards the ground. Girl, what are you doing? Numbers above the door lit up normally too, and I watched as my stomach lurched with the movement of the elevator and the lights processed towards number 9. Standing alone in the dark elevator was a little eerie, but nothing really seemed to be wrong. The darkness made the trip feel longer than usual, though. I looked around, realizing the orange light from the numbers above cast a dim glow around the reflective walls of the elevator, the light disappearing briefly as it clicked over to the next digit. I could make out vague shapes in my reflections, but nothing too weird. Just some blurs and a large lump that was probably just my own reflection. The elevator dinged and the doors slid open into a lit hallway. I let out a breath that I hadn't realized I'd been holding. I got into the office and turned on my computer to discover the only other employee who regularly came in was isolating and working at home this week. Oh, well, shit.
Hmm. Setting up pretty
This is
well.
just, I don't like elevator stories. Why would you do this to me?
Okay, so it sounds like Zombie knew you would
He
be like
absolutely did. He planned this. Ah, it's fine. He's chuckling. I hear him chuckling. He's having the best time chuckling about this.
That's good.
Oh,
It's content. Here we
this
go.
is this is the content you crave.
Content.
The office was a bit freaky with no one else around, dead quiet aside from the hum of the lights and the gentle whoosh of the air conditioning. At least I could play some music out loud or something. Halfway through the day, the feeling of being all alone in the office was starting to get to me. I considered taking my lunch outside of the office, but the idea of walking down 9 flights of stairs or taking the elevator again was not appealing. Unfortunately, I didn't really have a choice in the matter. My email inbox pinged with a new email from the accounting department, asking if I'd seen a check in the office mail and could I scan and email it over, please. I sighed loudly. The mailboxes were all the way down the first floor lobby. I fetched the mailbox key and headed to the elevator. It seemed totally fine this morning, and I really didn't want to go up and down all those stairs. Girl, it did not seem totally fine this morning. You were freaking out. Why? Just go up the stairs. Take the stairs. I pressed the buttons. The doors opened. It looked the same as before, dark, but otherwise normal. For some reason, though, I felt a little more jittery this time. It was probably just that I'd spent hours alone working. I stepped inside and hit the button for the ground floor. The doors slid shut. I kept my eyes on them as the light above flipped on and off and on and off each number. My reflection was distorted a little, warped in the metal of the doors. I stared. On, off. My head was a blob, just two little dots where my eyes would be. A mass of blobbery brown hair around flesh tone. PSA for anyone who's listening to this. Don't ever take the reflections of some metal in an elevator and like dysmorphosize your beautiful body. Like you don't need to think you're blobby. We're all beautiful.
Unless you are literally Blobby, in which case
You're still a
you're
beautiful
you're a
blob.
character from a show.
And you're
Oh,
still a beautiful blob. Self-love.
fair enough.
I could only sort of make it out in the orange glow before the light flicked off again. On, off, on, ding! I stepped out into the brightly lit lobby and walked briskly over to the mailboxes. The place was still deserted, nothing here but me and the sound of my shoes going clack, 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 clack on the floor. I opened the company mailbox. Empty. Great. So I made this trip for nothing. Clack, 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 over to the elevator. Ding! I stepped back into the dark little box. I watched my reflection again. On, off. It looked a little different each time. The light turned back on, but I assumed it was just my imagination. I'd heard about how the brain can play tricks on you in the dark. How if you stare in the mirror long enough, your face can start to distort. That's a real thing.
Hmm.
Uh, the reflection wasn't really detailed enough for that, though. Instead, blobs just shifted around marginally. On, off. The fleshy part of the reflection expanded a little. On, off. If I strained my eyes, it almost looked like on, off. It looked like it was pushing against the metal towards, oh God, towards me. Like the metal was just a plasticky sheet holding something back. On ding, the door slid open. I blinked, then exited. Just a weird trick of the light, probably. The day dragged on entirely too long. Even with music playing, the empty office was just too lonely and eerie. I was glad when 5 p.m. rolled around. I gathered up my things and headed back to the elevator. Ding! Still dark. I wonder if I should have alerted building management or something. Yes!
Yep,
Yes, girl.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Like, there's literally, like, I don't know how it is everywhere in the world, but I know in North Carolina there is she's no longer in charge, but like all of the elevators are like, this was checked by the commissioner of elevators, Sherry Berry. Like,
Right.
like there's inspectors, there's like people, even just like regular maintenance. If they can't fix it or like get it situated, someone's got to be involved in this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, and if you're really scared in the dark of the elevator, like all phones have flashlights. Even like the old like track phones had flashlights built in on them. Like, I hate elevator stories. Why did he do this to me? But I assumed someone else would do it. I stepped inside, feeling drowsy. The numbers above the door lit up once more. I gazed lazily at my reflection again. It had that odd warping effect as the glow flicked on and off again. It seemed worse this time. It had just been the slightest protrusion against the metal before, but now it seemed more pronounced. Ooh, no, girl. I'm just tired, I thought. On, off. I glanced at the numbers, on, off, but it wasn't counting down, on, off. It was just oscillating between lighting up the 7 and 8, over and over, bouncing between the two. No. Fuck, I said out loud. Had I somehow gotten stuck between floors? I was suddenly very awake as I fished my phone out of my pocket, the light still bathing me. I'm in the fucking orange glow over and over again. I managed to get my phone out. My eyes slid over to the door as I looked around for a little emergency services plaque. I froze. Sticking out from the doors was some thing. It still had the smoothed over appearance like there was some thin layer separating me from it, but I could very clearly see it now. A fleshy blob with a brown mass extending behind it as if it pushed back by the translucent film it was straining against. I could very clearly see the two beady little eyes. Ugh. Not reflections of my dark brown eyes, but horrible little black pinpricks. The thing had no nose as far as I could tell. Oh, it's Voldemort. I'm suddenly taken out of the scary of this, and I'm like, oh, no nose, got it. Just a flat expanse between the eyes and what I can only describe as a maw. The film over it sucked in, then out, forming a wide crescent shape and turned up at the edges. I screamed and stumbled backwards, the railing behind me slamming hard into my back. The thing kept pushing forward, jolting a little closer each time the orange glow illuminated it again and again. No, 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 I whimpered, falling to my knees and scuttling away into the corner of the elevator, clutching my phone to my chest. Bro, you got a phone. Why didn't you call like somebody? Call
Well, she's in
somebody.
shock. She's in shock.
I mean, this whole thing just crazy to me. I maybe it's just because I don't like elevators, but I'm like, why would you just take? It's only 9 flights of stairs. What's 9 flights of stairs? Come on. From this angle, I could see horrible spindly arms pressed flat to its sides, suctioned in by the film. With what looked like considerable effort, it twisted its head to keep looking at me, its body extending outward from the door like a snake, seemingly only inhibited by the door and not by anything resembling a skeletal structure. The gaping mouth opened wider and wider, the film getting sucked in, out, by its breathing, looking a little more cavernous each time. I screwed my eyes up tight and tried to make myself as small as possible. What else was I supposed to do? There was nowhere to go. One agonizing moment of silence, then another. I was sure at any moment I would feel the cool, smooth surface of the thing against my face, and it would choke me down like a python swallowing prey. Like a python! Unchin's jaws. Ding! I opened my eyes. Inexplicably, the door was open and there was the lit lobby. The thing was gone. I ran. First good decision all day, she runs. I called my boss the next day. Said I'd been exposed to the virus and needed to work from home. My coworker is still isolating. He sent me a message on Slack saying he may just work from home permanently, and I think that I might too. I think my boss would approve it. I'm not going back to that office. I can't, even if they fix the light. How do I know that thing is still isn't there?
Mm,
And I'm sure as hell not walking up 9 flights of stairs every day. And that's how the story ends.
jeepers.
So this was a Reddit post on the subreddit No Sleep. It was posted 7 days ago by the user Grimrester. Um,
Hmm.
Honestly, I think it was pretty well written. Um, I hate, I absolutely hate that there was an elevator story because I'm not a fan of those. I don't like
I
elevators.
I feel like it made it more amusing because you don't like elevators.
That and I
I can
also
totally see where Zombie was going with that.
disrespect. But no,
Yeah,
it
it's
definitely made
it's
my skin crawl in a couple of those, couple parts of it.
mhm.
I uh I don't know. Like for me, I feel like if I almost got smashed by the door of an elevator, why
That
would
would've been
you
your first clue, yeah.
like, oh cool. This is a janky elevator. Let me not.
Mhm.
Oh, I see he's in my chat. The blobby's out to get you.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I also don't uh you ever heard of that thing? It's where stuff that looks like human, like it looks like it's a human, but it's not, and it's an unsettling thing. Kind of like how dolls are creepy because they look like people but they're not people. What's that called?
Um,
The uncanny valley, I think.
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It's like a psychological thing where people get like a large amount of people are unnerved by a face that is a face. It is the uncanny valley effect.
Okay, the uncanny valley effect is a term used to describe the relationship between the human-like appearance of a robotic object and the emotional response it evokes. In this phenomenon, people feel a sense of unease or even revulsion in response to humanoid robots that are highly realistic. Huh.
And
I
in
didn't know
my
that was a
brain,
thing.
I immediately equate that to that's why dolls are creepy.
Absolutely, yeah.
But like if I started seeing like my visage but like distorted and I was
Mhm.
already like keyed up because I don't like being in this elevator that I continue to put myself in every day,
Mhm.
like if they said, "Oh, go check the mail," honestly, they pay you by the hour, girl. Walk down
Yeah.
those stairs. Enjoy it. Like it's
Mhm.
free cardio. Like, and nobody else is in the office. You don't have to wear dress shoes. Who's
Mhm.
gonna snitch on
Oh,
you?
yeah, she's wearing heels too. That definitely would have made, like, walking up the stairs and down the stairs worse. Like, who's gonna check your uniform? You could go in and, like, what's it called? Oh, shoot, I forgot the name for
Like
them.
joggers,
Joggers,
pants.
tights, like, whatever you want.
Honestly, when I worked in office, at my job, every Sunday, I literally would go in sweatpants and a company T-shirt, and I called them it was my Cave Troll Sundays. So I wouldn't dress up. I would just like roll up in like not PJs, but like
Right.
classy, sweatpants that like are they sweatpants? They were black. Who's gonna know?
Mhm.
Like
For me
sometimes I just wore sandals. Like
Oh gosh, I can't wear sandals. For me, it's like my comfort clothing is my like tighter, like nicer clothing. So it's just it's no different. Like work clothes between my comfort clothes. I don't know if that's a problem or not, but you know.
Well, I mean, as a woman, and now that there's like a pocket revolution going on, where
Mhm.
like women's clothes are starting to have like functional pockets, more than they had been. So it's still like a lot of pocket inequality, but I have a lot of dresses with pockets, so like I would usually pair that with like some nice tights or leggings and like cute little shoes, like maybe a little heel or like flats. And I'd look really cute and like professional, put together like the other days of the week. But Sunday, I was not putting any effort in. Like I showed up. That's what you get. Like
Fair enough. Fair enough.
now I'm at home, so like now I'm just consistently in my PJs. And then like if I get a video call from my boss, I'll throw on a classy shawl and no one knows. They're like, "Oh, are you in PJs?" Nah, I'm
Nice.
classy.
I don't think I've ever heard of the Russian sleep experiment. Have you?
um, I feel sounds familiar.
All right, to the Google. I want to look this up.
Is it what your story's about?
No, it's someone in chat. It's a friend of mine in chat.
Russian
Oh,
sleep experiment.
it's a film apparently and a book. It's a 2020 horror movie. Um, or yeah, horror movie. So the film consists of video recordings of an experiment in which the test subject was not allowed to fall asleep for 14 days. And that's the
That
whole
can kill
description of
you,
it.
dude.
So it's hella creepy and low-key may be a bit much depending on how triggering you want to be. Okay, let's avoid it then. Just the image of it is just really creepy. Maybe I should go to my story then.
Absolutely. Do you have any final thoughts on Elevator Girl?
Elevator Girl was kind of dense. That's my final thought there.
Pokemon Go alert, like be aware of your
Mm.
surroundings.
Literally. Okay, so my story actually it's a Canadian story. It comes out of a book called a Horror Canada or Canadian Horror. It's a book I used to read as a kid actually. Because as a kid I was actually a little bit more into horror, so maybe that makes a little bit more sense why Daniel likes it more, at least right now. So this story is called Headless Mary. It takes place in Montreal, Quebec. And yeah, let's just head into it. Most people don't go looking for ghosts, and most don't want ghosts to come looking for them. But for more than 130 years, curiosity seekers have gathered in Griffintown, an area of downtown Montreal near the Lachine Canal. Yeah, that sounds right. Lachine Canal, hoping to see the ghost of a woman looking for her head. And over the years, the parents living in the area have warned their misbehaving youngsters that the headless ghost would come after them while she wandered around searching for it. Griffintown was a bustling working-class neighborhood of Montreal where thousands of Irish immigrants settled when they arrived in Canada in the 19th century. Life was hard for many of the people living there. It was certainly hard for two friends, Mary Gallagher and Susan Kennedy, who were staying in a flat in a house at the corner of William and Murray Streets in the summer of 1879, on the night of June 27th. They had been socializing with a man named Michael Flanagan when they got into a terrible fight, and Mary Gallagher was killed. According to the court documents, Susan Kennedy had knocked her to the floor and whacked her several times with an axe, chopping off her head. A neighbor living downstairs said the blows overhead were so violent that the ceiling plaster cracked, sending pieces showering down.
Well,
Susan Kennedy was found guilty of murdering her best friend. Her sentence, death by hanging, was supposed to be carried out on December 5th, 1879, but a judge finally spared her life and sent her to prison instead. She was eventually paroled after serving 16 years in the Kingston Penitentiary in Ontario. Oh, hey, look at that.
So wait a minute. So just like one day she's like, not only am I gonna murder you, but with an axe, and it's gonna be so brutal, all of our neighbors are gonna hear it.
Yeah, this is 18th, 19th century. I guess it made sense back then.
How do you have an axe just chilling in your flat that's sharp enough to cleave through all of the stuff in a net?
Well, I think that makes a little bit more sense because I would imagine, like back in that time, like it wasn't necessarily a flat that we would imagine now, but it would have to be heated by wood. Like they would have had like
Oh, that's
wooden fire.
true.
They would have had fireplaces. They would have had to chop their own wood. So them having an axe wasn't totally beyond
That's not
any.
unheard of. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't totally beyond them. Um, the fact that the judge spared her life back then is surprising to me. The death penalty was like absolutely something that was huge back then. I can't imagine anything other than that. Wood splitting axes are typically extra sharp too. Yeah, Yochin brings up a good point there. Like it makes so much sense. In the years following Mary Gallagher's death, several people reported seeing her on the streets of Griffintown, dressed as she had always been in life. And even though her ghost didn't always appear headless, people said she was looking for her head. As the number of Mary Gallagher sightings dwindled over time, locals began to talk about how she just appeared once every 7 years on the anniversary of her death. Few traces of Gallagher's old neighborhood remain in Montreal. Abandoned factories and slum housing have been replaced by film studios and trendy condos looking out over the Canal. But some folks still gather every 7 years at the corner of William and Murray Streets to mark the passing of the lively, close-knit Irish-Canadian community that once was Griffintown. And they do so on June 27th, just in case the headless ghost of Mary Gallagher decides to go for a walk that night. So that's the whole story.
Oof.
It's pretty creepy. Like, so as someone who I feel I scare easily. I feel like I scare pretty easily. Like I'm jumpy in the both best moments and my worst moments. I'm saying it wrong. I already know that. It's spelt very different. Lachin Canal? Lach it's not La Chienne. La Chienne is French for dog. It's La Chine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, someone who's like particularly jumpy, I could not live in Montreal around that area if that's what was going on. I hesitate to like dive into horror stories because I'm so jumpy. Yeah. I don't know. It couldn't live in I guess I couldn't live in Montreal around there.
I mean, so here's a question I pose to you.
Mhm.
Do you think ghosts are real?
No. I don't think ghosts are real, but I do think that I am absolutely easy to scare. And I will like I don't
I
believe
think
ghosts
ghosts
are
are
real,
real.
but I
I
get
think
in
they're
my head.
real.
I get in my head, and I all of a sudden will like my head will like race at like a million miles a minute and be like, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? I would just freak out in that moment. I remember my ex had a bunch of dolls. She had a bunch of this is going back to the uncanny valley, but she had a bunch of these like porcelain dolls, and I could not stand them. I got
That's
so
fair
freaked
and
out every
reasonable
time I saw
because
them.
dolls are creepy.
Yeah, and I was just so jumpy. I remember one time, like my mother had actually like had some in our basement, just sitting around, and she had them in the box, but she had actually brought my ex downstairs to like show her the dolls, see if she wanted them, because we wanted to get rid of them. Um, and they were left out, and I just remember screaming, just getting so freaked out because I didn't know they were out. I
And
didn't
just
know.
so you just walk in and suddenly like dolls.
I walked in and I have my voice has a very like wide range. I can get deep, I can get high, and that moment I was pretty high. My voice
I
got
bet.
pretty high.
I bet. I'm be real with you. If I just walked into my mother's house, like if I walk into my mom's house tomorrow and
Mm,
I see just some dolls, I'm turning. I'm leaving. Like I'm not
yep,
coming back until I know they're gone. Like
literally. And honestly, I feel like I dodged a bullet there because like I just those dolls. She wanted them in the bedroom, and I was like,
oh
no,
no.
no.
Absolutely not. Absolute. That is some serious. Those are red flags.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there were
Oh,
more red flags other than that, but those were.
my brother
Don't
said
say
kinky.
that.
Oh my god.
No.
There are some paths we should not go down. All those dead doll eyes.
I can't. I can't.
I mean, this is creepy. Oh god, I hate
Yeah.
dolls.
Um,
Ah,
do you have another story?
I can. I can absolutely
Because
give
I
you a
have, I have a couple more as well.
I would love for you to tell me another one.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I check with my man in the van, zombified potato, if there is another story. Little arms caress. Please
Your
stop,
brother.
Ty. That's not funny. That's not funny.
And I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Thank you. All right.
This is why we do it during
Um.
the day. So you have the rest of the day to
True.
chill from there.
True. All right. So this next story I have comes from some random website I think that Daniel found. It's called Guardians by Dark Alligator. It's a short story. It's pretty short. It's like a paragraph. So
Okay.
here we go. He awoke to the huge insect-like creatures looming over his bed and screamed his lungs out. They
Nope.
hastily left the room and he stayed up all night, shaking and wondering if it had been a dream. The next morning, there was a tap on the door. Gathering his courage, he opened it to see one of them gently place a plate filled with fried breakfast on the floor, then retreat to a safe distance. Bewildered, he accepted the gift.
No.
The creatures chittered excitedly, and this happened every day for weeks. At first, he was worried that they were fattening him up, but after a particularly greasy breakfast left him clutching his chest from heartburn, they were replaced with fresh fruit, as well as cooking. They poured out hot, steamy baths for him and even tucked him in when he went to bed. It was bizarre. One night, he awoke to gunshots and screaming. He raced downstairs to find a decapitated burglar being devoured by the insects. He was sickened, but disposed of the remains as best he could. He knew they had just been protecting him. One morning, the creatures wouldn't let him leave his room. He lay down, confused but trusting as they had ushered him back into his bed. Whatever their motives, they weren't going to hurt him. Hours later, a burning pain spread throughout his body. It felt like his stomach was filled with razor wire. The insects chittered as he spasmed and moaned. It was only when he felt a terrible squirming feeling beneath his skin that he realized the insects hadn't been protecting him. They had been protecting their young.
No. God. Oh, is that how it ends?
That's how it ends.
That's okay. So many things to unpack because what? Firstly, and this is just again, this is me. If I
Ugh.
wake up and there's insect like a giant ass insect in my house, I'm burning the house down. I'm leaving. Like me and the cat, Tom, we're out.
Absolutely.
Like no, none of that. Also, you should never just eat floor breakfast. I feel like if you wake up and there's homemade breakfast chilling on the floor,
But that's the thing. It was literally served on a plate. Like it was served well.
that's some face shit. I'm not into that. I don't accept gifts. No, thank you. Nope. Mm-mm. 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 I knew it was gonna go to like there are eggs in the food. There's eggs in the
Mm-hmm.
eggs. But I was like, maybe
Literally.
I'm wrong. Maybe that's not what's gonna happen. That's what happened.
Oh, Jotun, dozens of little fingers. Don't do that.
Why would you do that? Oh, floor food is
Ugh.
the best. No, it's not. Oh, no, that's oh. And then you know what? I will say that is really nice that they like attacked the burglar.
Oh yeah. Well, they were protecting their young. They were
Yeah.
protecting their young. The young were they were incubating inside this guy's body. And if anything happened, all that warmth is all of a sudden gone. They don't have a host body to like. How else are you supposed to season? No, no, no.
Oh God. Oh,
Um. So
that's
Daniel has sent me a website with a couple more stories. Um. Yeah. I
I
don't know.
don't. I'm still okay. Okay, but is it normal for people just be accepting food on the floor, like random ass
Well,
breakfast on the floor?
like I feel like well, if your mother put food outside your door, like you say you had like a special friend over the night before, and your parents are like, oh, we don't want to walk in on them just in case. So they're like, yeah, we've made you breakfast. We're trying to be nice. We're just gonna leave this in front of your door. They give it a knock, and then it's just gone. Like I feel like that's normal. I feel like that is a genuine thing where oh yeah, I would accept that. Or if I was just like, um, I think like I feel like when my parents would ground me, they would leave me some food outside the door on a plate as well. Like that's not totally that's not
Man,
overly
my
strange.
parents, did I have a weird childhood? My parents
I
be
don't
like,
know.
you're waking up at 6 a.m. You want
Oh no, don't
breakfast?
get
It's on
me
the
wrong.
table.
I woke up pretty early too. But there would be some moments where it was like even now, I have a bedroom in the basement and sometimes my mother would just bring me food and
That's
she'll
really
just leave it.
sweet.
Oh, my parents are amazing, but like Blast, if you had a special friend over at your parents, wouldn't okay. So I'm not saying that that was my case. But because absolutely they would scrutinize the hell out of me. Um but I'm saying like in general, some like other parents who maybe are more progressive or liberal, I feel like that would be more their speed. That's something that would be accepted.
I never got to have friends over during the week. I think in
Mm.
total I had maybe like most of the time I went elsewhere just because I grew up in a really large family. So like having friends over was like there were already so many people in my house
Hmm.
that it was just it's it just and also my family was like very like Saturday mornings like 5 6:30 in the morning we're up like salsa's playing, we're cleaning the house, it's all got to be done by noon,
Hmm.
like they're very structured. um
Yeah. I would hardly have friends over too, just because my parents were like they don't have any sense of personal space and they don't have any
that's fair and
sense of
reasonable.
boundaries. So I typically didn't have friends over. Only recently, like do like I only have friends over. I barely have friends over. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, McPeanut's been to my house. Wafer's been to my house. They know how my family is, and they know how uncomfortable it is when they're around. But you know,
I mean,
yeah,
I think that's really sweet though that your parents bring you snacks.
yeah. My parents are fantastic at times, and then other times, yeah. Let's get, yeah.
Well, I loved that story, but I also absolutely fucking hated it.
It's
Zombified Potato gave me another story. And I
oh
just opened it
fantastic.
to look at it, and I don't know how I feel. Its title is If You Hear Scratching and Whispers Coming from Your Closet, Don't Open the Door.
Great,
Love
great.
it. We're here for it. This is great. This is perfect.
I feel like I can. I'm not. I feel like I'm not gonna sleep tonight. How long is this segment? How many stories are we gonna have? And
um,
how much sleep am I legitimately gonna get tonight?
so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right. It all started when I was 12 years old. I was living with my mom in a small house out in the countryside of Sweden. From a young age, I never believed in the boogeyman hiding under my bed or monsters in my closet. But it all changed the night of my 12th birthday. I did my normal before bed routine of brushing my teeth, reading my favorite book, and then turning off the light ready to sleep. I woke up around 1:34 a.m. to a weird noise coming from somewhere in my room. At first I thought it must have been the tree branch of an old oak that just stood just outside of my bedroom. But then I heard something whisper my name, Jacob. And that's when I started to get scared. I hid under my sheets, thinking it would protect me from whatever was in my room. That is a real feeling. Like when you're little and you're scared in your room, and you're like, it's cool if I hide under the blanket, I'm safe. They can't see me. I'm good. But the scratching and whispering continued for hours. It was almost dawn when it stopped whispering my name. After what I believed was an eternity of waiting for that voice to disappear, I mustered up enough courage to peek up from my blankets. All I saw was my normal room, but in the middle of the floor was a note. On that note was something that looked to be written in blood. That note said, "Won't you come play with me, Jacob?" No. No,
Okay.
thank you. I actually would not like to.
Nope.
No. That's when I heard my mother walking around downstairs. I rushed down the stairs to show her the note and tell her what had happened. When I started to explain what had happened only hours ago, she shook her head and said it was due to a mix of my imagination and all the stories I've read before bedtime. I reached for the note which I had put in my pocket, but when I put my hand in my pocket, there was nothing. The note had disappeared. I stood there dumbfounded over how that note could have just vanished. Every night without exception since I was 12, I've heard that voice whispering, calling out to me from my closet. One time when I was home alone, I decided I'd had enough of the constant whispers and scratching. I went over to that door at exactly 1:34 a.m. and 1:34 a.m. is a very specific time.
Yep.
That's hella specific. And opened it to see that the closet wasn't full of clothes anymore, but it had a huge hole in the back leading to the wall. Mm-mm. That's when I saw it for the first time, the thing, the monster that haunted me for the last 5 years. Wait a minute, so they're 17 years old being like, I'm gonna check out this monster in my closet now?
Okay.
That's
Seems legit.
that's a long time to be like, I'm scared of like I feel like after five
Hmm.
years I would be desensitized. We're like, yo, what up, ghost closet? You wanna
I
whisper
mean,
me
it
something
depends.
spooky? I wouldn't be scared at that point.
Just whisper spooky nothings into my ear.
I would have named it something. Like
Dave.
he Yeah, I'd be like, fucking Dave. Like, man, I'm trying to sleep, Dave. Can you respect my sleep time? Thank you. The monster that had haunted me for the last 5 years was a large and skinny man with a top hat and a permanent smile that went ear from ear. Why? Why did you do this to me? Zombified potato, why did you do this to me? When it saw me, it walked slowly toward me. In a panic, I closed the door and started to run out of my room. I was midway on the stairs when I heard my closet door slamming open with a quick crash, like it had been ripped off the hinges. When I was all the way down the stairs, I looked up to see if the thing had followed me. And when I looked up those stairs, I saw something that would haunt me for the rest of my life. I saw the creature on all fours. Nope. Absolutely not. Nope.
What?
With a wide smile on its face. I got a better view of the creature's face in the light, and I saw two hollow sockets where his eyes were supposed to let be. It let out a demonic screech that forced me to cover my ears as I ran outside my house, and it followed me as I bolted towards the forest where I thought it was safe. What? Why would you run to the. Okay. You do you, Jacob. You do you. Uh, as I ran for what felt like miles, I could still hear that creature screech, as if it was right behind me. A few minutes later, that screech got quieter, and that's when I took the opportunity to hide behind a fallen tree a few hundred feet in front of me. I waited for what felt like hours when I remembered that my mother would be home soon. I ran as quickly as I could towards the direction I thought that was leading to my house. But after being lost for hours, dawn finally came and I found my way home. When I got to my house, I saw a tall silhouette with a top hat that was waving to me from my living room window.
Okay.
So it's just chilling now? Like, is that your stepdad? Like, what's going on? Like, this is my house now. My stomach sank when I saw my mother's car wrecked. Oh no! Wrecked on the driveway of my house. I saw a trail of blood leading towards my front door. I walked inside to see the blood and flesh that was shredded all over the hallway and kitchen. When the police came, they didn't believe my story and arrested me for the murder of my mother. This was 25 years ago, and now I am a free man. I went to therapy for my trauma from that night, but I will always remember the silhouette waving towards me. But my son recently started complaining about scratching and hearing whispers from his closet. And that's how the story ends.
Okay.
So this was a story posted 1 day ago on the subreddit No Sleep. The user no
Ugh,
dash one Wastikin. No
bloody
one, no
hell.
one was taken. Oh, I get it. Okay. Hate that. I mean, it was very artfully done, but I also fucking
Well
hate
written, I
that.
think. Yeah. Well written, but oh my gosh.
Like, why? For what? No, thank you. No.
Hell.
Also, and again, I don't know if maybe this is just because like I grew up with a lot of like outdoors and husbandry stuff. But like if you're scared, running into the woods is a dog shit idea. Especially at 1:34 at night. It's dark. He probably didn't have chance to put on like proper outdoor gear, and even if you feel safe and secure in the woods, you feel like you know the lay of the land. Running through the woods, even in a quote unquote straight line, you will never actually run in a straight line. You will get lost. You will get turned
Mhm.
around. You will be all sorts of like wherever. I hate that that happened to his mom though.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeez. Okay.
that's fucking hated that. Oh, thank
That was
you.
the
Thank you,
zombie.
zombie.
Bravo. Good
Good,
choice there.
good, good job, you
Um
heartless.
Wow.
I love him dearly. I can't believe he did this to me. I'm not gonna sleep. It's fine.
Yeah. Sleep is not going to be
You
in
know what?
my
I mean,
radar.
they were both of my stories were from the subreddit No Sleep. I think I
No,
understand.
true.
Think I understand what's happening. They understood the assignment. Is
Mhm.
what happened.
Mhm. So Daniel has another one for me here.
Yes.
This one's called "My Daughter Learned to Count." It's a very short story.
Okay.
It's by Real Science 87. It goes something like this. My daughter woke me up around 11:50 last night. My wife and I had picked her up from her friend Sally's birthday party, brought her home, and put her to bed. My wife went into the bedroom to read while I fell asleep watching the Braves game. Daddy, she whispered, tugging my shirt sleeve. Guess how old I'm gonna be next month. I don't know, Beauty, I said as I slipped on my glasses. How old? She smiled and held up 4 fingers. It's 7:30 now. My wife and I have been up with her for almost 8 hours. She still refuses to tell us where she got them.
Priceless.
That
Children.
one, thank you,
Children are.
Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. That's great. I have so many nieces and nephews, and it did not phase me. A small child was like, I'm gonna wake you up super early to like add zero, like add nothing to a conversation. But like, where'd she get the finger?
I don't
kids,
know.
kids sometimes say creepy shit, and I feel like that's like socially acceptable at this point. But like, Where are you going? Also, I also want to just thank you for adding the ambiance of the child's voice. Like you did an excellent job.
Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's
Oh.
right. You missed it. Small child found 4 fingers and wanted to have something like, how many fingers am I holding up?
Well, you
Oh,
know what? She was at a birthday party. She could be just straight up, it could be some kid's hand.
I mean, that's true, technically, because technically a thumb is not a finger.
Yep. Yep.
So it could literally just be a hand. Like, I need
Mhm.
answers. Oh,
Okay.
man.
I've got another one here.
All right, I'm here for it.
S So this one is called "The Accident" by Minboy. That's, Minboy with 2 N's. Um, it was 1 AM and Guy Halverson sat in his dark living room. He hadn't moved for over an hour. The accident earlier that evening kept playing over and over in his mind. The light turned red, but he was in a hurry and accelerated. An orange blur came from his right, and in a split second, there was a violent jolt. Then the
Mm,
bicyclist rolled across his hood and fell out of sight on the pavement. Horns blared angrily, and he panicked, stepping on the gas and screeching away from the chaos into the darkness, shaken and keeping an eye on his rearview mirror until he got home. Why did you run, you idiot? He'd never committed a crime before and punished himself by imagining years in jail, his career gone, his family gone, his future gone. Why not just go to the police right now? You can afford a lawyer. Then someone tapped on the door. The front door, and his world suddenly crumbled away beneath him. They found me. There was nothing he could do but answer it. Running would only make matters worse. His body trembling, he got up, went to the door, and opened it. A police officer stood underneath the porch light. "Mr. Halverson?" asked the grim officer. He let out a defeated sigh. "Yeah, yes, let me. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I have some bad news. Your son's bike was struck and hit by a hit and run driver this evening. He died at the scene. I'm so very sorry for your loss."
oh, shit.
That's a twist.
That is a twist I was not expecting. This, like, got pretty real for me. I think we even talked about this. I've been a pedestrian that was struck by a vehicle twice. Like, if I had a nickel for every time it's happened, I would have 2 nickels, which is
More than you want to
concerning,
say. Yeah.
concerning that it's happened more than once. And both times, like, the car just kept on going. But that's gotta be just a whole bunch of just so much raw emotion on that, because having been in a driving and getting into an accident where someone hits you or like just go off the road or you hit a deer, like it's stressful enough because you're already like, oh my god, what's happening? But then it's your kid. Oh my god, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. Um, Daniel's mind is fantastic. Thank you,
Beautiful
Dan.
mind, Daniel. You did an excellent job.
He's he's got a couple more for me because he's like sent me a whole website here. Um,
The
yep.
real OP of this channel is now Daniel's
Yeah.
ability to find like just jaw wrenching. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. Let's quickly sneak some Dan pugs into your chat there.
Love it. I'm here for it.
Um, so this one is called "The Happiest Day of My Life" by Recludus. I watched as my soon to be father in law held his daughter's hand as he walked down the aisle. Tears streamed down his face as the wedding march that played in the background reminded him that, in a few minutes, he would be watching me hold his daughter's hand and slipping on her ring. He walked up to the altar, and I took hold of her hand, grinning from ear to ear. It was the happiest day of my life. My bride's father got down on his knees and started begging, "Please, I did what you asked. Just please give my daughter back." I glared at him. "Shut up and stop ruining the moment. If you sit back down and enjoy the ceremony, maybe I'll tell you where I've hidden the rest of her body."
What? There are so many turns on this.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. What? Okay. Let me. Oh, that's so creepy.
um. Yep.
I I don't know why, but that just reminded me of there's like a story and I don't have it in front of me. But there's like a story of a shopkeeper whose daughter died and it was like a bridal shopkeeper. His
Mm-hmm.
daughter died and then shortly thereafter this like really lifelike mannequin showed up where like in the window. Very like lifelike beautiful mannequin, wearing this very beautiful dress. And they
Jeez.
and there's like speculation that it's actually his daughter's like preserved body, which is like firstly props on preserving, but like
Mm-hmm.
why? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, you are a champ.
He's got one last one for me.
Okay.
This is very short. So this is called YLIM 3 by I Post at Midnight. Little Emily vanished last year. Now they're pouring new sidewalks in my neighborhood, and I found her name in the wet cement. Surely written in remembrance. But
Oh no.
it was written in reverse and from below.
Oh no. Mm-mm. Second you said they're pouring new sidewalk, I was like, wait, so does that mean she's alive down there? Oh god.
Maybe? Maybe
That's
right then.
that's that's unsettling.
It's very unsettling.
I've got one more and then we can turn chat to a lighter topic.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Um, so this one is called I Fought Against Sleep Paralysis. I Never Will Again. It was around 2 years ago. I had a string of sleep paralysis episodes that lasted for a few months. Most of the time, it would just be me waking up and having that weird full body feeling you would get, an all familiar inability to move. I always thought that it was best to never fight against sleep paralysis, never try to fight back against the inability to move. But there was this one time I did, and from that, I never will again. I awoke in my bed and I could already feel it at an instant. I couldn't move any part of my body, and I could only feel that weird feeling that always notified me that I was suffering from another episode. Like every other time, I would just lay there until I snapped out of it. And I mean, that's all I could do. All I could do there was think, and only one thought came to my mind. I kept thinking about what if I tried to move? And what if I tried to break out of the paralysis? Paralysis. I cannot talk today. I tried this before briefly, but I gave up immediately because it didn't lead anywhere. So I thought, why not? And I started to try and move. First, I started to try and move my arms, but it didn't really lead anywhere. And then I added my legs and nothing. And then I start tried to start rolling around, doing my best to at least get some kind of movement, but of course, nothing. I was putting in my all, and I was just about to give up whenever my legs started to move. My legs started to move off of my bed, and it started to hang from the bed. Oh no, don't do that. That's how the things can get you when your leg is out.
Mhm.
My legs started to move off of my bed, and it started to hang from my bed. Whenever that happened, I started to do my best to roll, and soon after that, I started to feel my body begin to move. I can't explain it, but before I knew it, I was standing up in my room and looking around. I noticed that a few things looked out of place. I just heard a chat alert. I don't know what happened. Um,
Oh, Keenan just started following, I think?
oh, thank you. Hi, Keenan. We're telling a
Spooky
spooky
time.
story.
You've missed most of the creepiest stories we've had.
It's been a wild ride of creepy.
Mhm. We're
This
gonna take a
person's
special
this
look into my little brother's mind.
very it's a keen look into it.
Mm.
Okay.
Continue the story.
I can't explain it, but before I knew it, I was standing up in my room and looking around. I noticed that a few things looked out of place and that I myself felt kind of weird. But overall, my room looked just like my room, and I was ecstatic at the position I found myself in. I spent the next few minutes exploring my house and just generally looking at things. It was the moment that I reached the back door of my house and looked out of the glass door, and I saw someone standing on my porch, facing away from me. I looked at the person, but since it was dark outside and the person was facing away from me, I couldn't pinpoint exactly who they were. They were just standing there, very still. It was kind of unnerving because when I say they were standing still, I mean they were really still. I started to walk towards the glass door to open it and confront this person, but whenever I blinked, the door was gone. When I say the door was gone, I mean it completely disappeared, and where the door used to be was a solid wall. I was completely caught off guard at this, and I just stood there, looking at the wall, wondering how something like this could happen. I then turned around, and there it was. And yes, I mean it because there was no way what I was seeing was a person. It had a humanoid form, but its body was completely off, and its face, there was just no way to explain what I was seeing. It just stood in my living room, just as still as it was whenever it was outside. And I just stood there looking at its inhumanly still face. I was starting to feel a deep, unexplainable feeling of fear. I was petrified. I mean, I had to be still as it was. Then within what had to have been a second, this thing bolted towards me. I mean, this thing was as quick as its inability to be still. I just stood there, unable to move, but right as this thing reached out to me, I woke up in my bed, breathing deeply and covered in sweat. I got up out of bed and I was terrified at first, but after looking around my room to see that everything was in its right place and noticing that it didn't feel slightly off, I realized that I was now really awake. And that's how the story ends.
Eepers, what a dream state.
For real. This was also posted on the Reddit subreddit R No Sleep by user Hellmover 7 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
Um, these are all pretty recent. I'm starting to notice a theme. I don't. It wasn't intentional, but um, I feel like we kind of hit it on the head earlier, and we were like uncanny valley. I feel like
Mm.
that's today's theme.
Mhm.
For the most part, for all of the stories he's picked out for me. Um, very very creepy. I I've never had sleep paralysis before, but I can imagine that that in and of itself is a terrifying experience. To, like, not
Mhm.
have, like, autonomy, not be able to move your body.
Mhm.
I think there's, like, a reason, like, when you're, like, asleep, you don't move. Like, once you hit
Mhm.
REM, you just, like, your body doesn't, like, jostle around. It's just in, like, the time when you're out of REM sleep that you're that you'll toss and turn unconsciously, but waking up in the dead of that, I wouldn't walk around my house though. Like if I like decided as a giggle, if I was have sleep paralysis. I don't have any frame of reference, but
Right.
I feel like I wouldn't try to like I'm gonna roll off my bed, see what happens,
Mhm.
because I would absolutely hurt myself. I'm already aware
Mhm.
of that. Like I'm clumsy as shit. I would immediately hurt myself.
I've had a couple of, I've had a couple of moments where I've just, I guess I've just been asleep and I've rolled off my bed, or actually, I was, sharing a hotel when I was younger with a friend of mine, and, I ended up rolling on top of him. I was like, I almost suffocated him
Oh my
in the
god.
bed, um, until he, pushed me off and he threw me into, because this was in a hotel bed, but he kinda threw me in between, the wall and the hotel bed, and I was just sleeping. I didn't wake up. I had no idea I did it. Yeah. It was, that was a night.
As a kid, I used to sleepwalk. I mean, I still like sometimes do that. Well,
Mm.
that's just so like he was dreaming, I guess. In the story, the
Yeah,
guy was
that's what it sounds
dreaming.
like it.
Only it was as a kid. Yeah, zombified potato, I know. Sometimes I still do be doing that. It do be like that sometimes.
True.
No, it's okay. It's fair and reasonable. Um, I don't think I've ever had sleep paralysis, but I would sleepwalk a ton when I was younger. I don't
Mm.
know, it's just something about like walking around. I at least stay hydrated. You're correct. You're correct on that.
Mhm.
So those are some spooky stories we just shared. I don't
Yeah,
know
thank you for
about you.
having me.
Of course, I feel like I'm gonna get the best sleep tonight for
I am not.
sure. It's gonna gonna be out like a light, no questions asked. Well, I usually play like when I can't sleep. I'm like, I'm gonna play Phasmophobia at like midnight to get to sleep
Well, that'll
because
help you.
I need some jump scares. Ah.
Jeepers.
But
Yeah.
on like on another note though, I am really excited that you took the time from your schedule to like hang out with me and share some creepy pasta.
Heck yeah.
It was
Um,
definitely fun. What sort of stuff, just since I've got you here, what sort of stuff are you looking forward to like coming
this
up? You got any
year?
projects? Yeah, you got any projects coming up?
Um, this year we've got a mural painting that's gonna go on where it's just we take because I've been streaming for 3 years now. I'm still not a big streamer, but I have memories. We have some great memories. We have some great jokes, and we're actually going to be putting them on a mural and painting a wall with them. Um, so I've got that coming up pretty soon. As soon as I finish building this damn room, which is taking forever. Um, so I've got that coming up. I've got the Pixelmon server coming up, where I've got a Minecraft Pokemon server that I've been putting some work into and trying to get ready so that everybody can come in and join and just enjoy some Pokemon in Minecraft. So that's going to be some exciting stuff on the way. It's going to be some exciting streams with my community. And trying to think what else. I've got some IRL stuff that I'm excited for, but I'm not going to share just yet because I don't want to spoil it.
No worries.
And yeah, no, I've got some fun stuff planned out. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking a trip to Germany soon too, so I'm gonna get some fun footage to edit from there. Yeah,
Ooh, all of that sounds awesome. I know I took a sneak peek at the Pixelmon as you were kind of getting it together.
yeah, you
I
did kind of get a sneak peek of that.
I
Yeah,
I got a first look, an inside look at the making of. It was great, but
yeah.
also I I'm not super versed in Minecraft, but everything looked super cool.
It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. It's a small mod pack with Pixelmon. So basically, the idea is to explore the Pokemon world as much as we'll let you. We've got a world border. Um, but the idea is to explore the Pixelmon world and just enjoy playing with friends, battling against other trainers that we're going to have on the server. Hopefully do some special Pokemon events on there. McPeanut and I have been discussing some fun things that we're gonna do. And yeah, no, that's the idea there.
I am super pumped. I am super pumped to see how this all comes to fruition. Also, super excited that you're going abroad. Germany, I have never been, but I hear it's definitely a beautiful place.
I have heard some amazing things about it, and I've got a bunch of friends up there that I'm hoping to see. So it's going to be more of a vacation than me trying to get a lot of footage, but I'll try and get as much as I can to like just have on stream where it's like, oh yeah, I took this and I've kind of got it as a motion background now. Um, so I guess I am doing a little bit of work while I'm there, but it's fine. It's fine. It's
Listen,
fine.
if you love if you love the work you do, it will never be work.
hmm
And honestly, I think that, art imitates life and life can sometimes imitate art. And really, I am just super excited for that opportunity for you to go visit your friends, maybe see some sights, just have a great time. I'm very excited to see this mural. I absolutely want to see photos of that. Very pumped.
Yes, I will hopefully be posting photos soon when we actually have it painted and stuff. We don't have the base design finished yet, so that's probably going to be something I do on stream as well, where I'm in Photoshop and we're laying it out. And also we want to do some more D&D stuff in the coming year. It's just been something that we've always enjoyed, Dungeons and Dragons, and our D&D show is called Dungeons and Dragons because I spelt another thing wrong and it stuck. And that's why I was like not too harshed out about you spelling my name wrong. It's one of those things that it becomes a ongoing joke and it's just more it becomes more a staple of your channel and it makes people relate with it just a little bit more. So, yeah.
Blasty Hub and the Tub Tubs. That's can't believe I like here's the thing. I was looking at your name in Discord when I was typing things out. I'm like, yeah, totally. There's an H there. That makes sense. Perfect. Makes sense.
Seems legit. Anyways, so I guess that's oh, I just unplugged my headphones.
Like, and I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done with this. No,
there we go.
again, super excited for all the stuff that's coming up for you. Guys in the chats, people on who's checking out the VOD afterwards, please check out my lovely friend Blastub's information. He's on twitch.tv/Blastub. He does really cool stuff. I'm very
Mhm.
excited. He also is on the Twitter, which
I
is
am on the Twitter, but I don't use the Twitter. I would actually if you look me up on Instagram, you can find a little bit more information about me there.
there you have it from the words of him. Yep, right there.
From
From
my
his
mouth,
mouth.
I am speaking the words that
It
you'll
is the
need to hear.
words. The words are good. But no, again, thank you so much for joining me today on this spooky scary experience. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a
Um
fun time. Yeah.
absolutely. And if you ever want to come back and do this again, we can absolutely do that cuz I just had a blast. I'm going to sleep
Ha.
like a baby bear tonight for sure.
I love it. Yeah, no, I had a blast as well, and if you want me back, I'll rope Daniel into getting me some more stories. I'm sure he'll love that.
He loves
Um,
honestly, he didn't please extend my gratitude to him
mhm.
for the creepies that he picked out because they were choice and just wonderful.
They were pretty fantastic. Anyways, I will catch you on the flip side then.
Absolutely. Thank you for hanging out. And chat, thank you guys again for chilling and joining us for this experience. I'm gonna take a look to see who is on right now, see who we can raid. Very
Yeah.
exciting. Um
Raid. Raid. Oh, actually Kai's online if you want to raid Kai. Or
okay.
Overlight. Overlight's playing D&D.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Anyways, I'll leave you with that choice. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a beautiful time, a spooky time. Okay. So, how do I accomplish a raid? Yes, this is my third ever stream. Very exciting. I have no idea what I'm doing, so yes, I would like you to do my raid, please. I would like to raid. I would like to raid overlight. We're gonna check out some D&D content. Zombify Potato is gonna set up a raid in a second because I don't know what I'm doing. But again, chat, thank you so much for joining us. This will be a weekly installment. Some dates are gonna be blocked out, but essentially we'll be looking at Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or other time zones. I'm bad at time zones, so whatever 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is for you is when we'll be here. I don't know how to do schedules on Twitch yet because I don't know how to do it, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine. We're gonna have a great time. So we're gonna raid our friends Overlight, and very excited again. Hope you guys have a spooky Saturday, and we'll see you next time.